All right, crew. So this is an extension of the relationship day that we had here a while back, and I was asked to do a little personal thing about my stuttering. Those of you who had me in class know that sometimes my speech patterns are a little speedy, and sometimes I do repeat some things now and then, and sometimes I have my blocking stutter that comes out, and I have a hard time enunciating or pronouncing my words oftentimes, and I need to make a conscious effort to slow down because I'm hard to understand sometimes. So I took some notes in my phone, so as I look down here, I looked into some of the causes of stuttering, and what I found was that it can be from primarily 3 different sources. They say that it can be inherited. I don't know that my parents stuttered that much, but possibly. Could be from a stroke, which I don't think I had a stroke any time that I'm aware of. And also the third cause could be from severe emotional trauma. You know, I don't know that that's the case or not. My parents did get divorced when I was pretty young. I was about 7 years old, I think, when they got divorced, and that was kind of tough. I bounced around to different schools, pretty much just in Waynesboro. I went to Mowry, I went to Hooverville, I went to Mowry again, and then I even spent some time at a school in Mont Alto. They had a school there down close to where Frank's Pizza is now. And so in 4th grade, I even spent a summer at Summit View. That 4th grade, it's tough to pass that level. So essentially, I did bounce around a lot as a kid, and that's when I really started to notice, like, you know, other students making fun of me, because I was the only one that was having a difficult time speaking, and I had what was called a blocking stutter. I had a hard time getting started. Once I got started with the sentence, I was good, but it was just hard to get things, to get it rolling, get it started. So essentially, anything that started with the letter G, or even C or D or and W. W was a tough letter to get, you know, to kind of get out and get started. So again, I was made fun of. You know, back in those days, there was no anti-bullying campaign. That makes me smile a little bit, because in those days, suck it up, buttercup, you had to deal with it. And so, you know, I look back at those times, and it just makes me smile compared to what we see today and the efforts being made today to stop, you know, bullying and that kind of behavior. But I was made fun of, but my coping skills had to come largely from within. I wasn't able to, I'm sure that there were counselors there at that point and at that age, but I didn't really feel comfortable talking to those folks. I bounced around a lot again, so I wasn't very close to many adults growing up, in school, that is. So obviously speaking in front of others was difficult, you know, and I recall giving a speech in 9th grade, and that was just crazy hard, because you know, here I am in front of my peers, in front of a class of probably, you know, 25, 28 kids, and here I am, like 14 years old maybe, and I had a hard time speaking in front of others, and there I am in front of the whole class trying to give a speech. Yeah, that was rough. Anyhow, you know, what was a couple minute speech seemed like forever, and that was a very stressful event. You know, but as far as stuttering goes, through some research, I realized that there were a lot of people in history who stuttered as well. Winston Churchill, Albert Einstein, smart fellow, Charles Darwin, Marilyn Monroe, and James Earl Jones. And a lot of you folks, you might know him as the voice of Darth Vader on our Star Wars movies. And there are others as well, but those were a few I thought you might recognize. So essentially, you know, growing up, I had to overcome a lot of things in life, not just stuttering. But essentially, if you would have told me that I would be able to teach and be able to speak in front of lots and lots of students every day and do so with minimal stuttering, I'd had a hard time believing you, because I had it pretty bad, and this takes a lot of work, a lot of patience. You got to believe in yourself, and those obstacles that we face in life, whether it be stuttering or whatever the case may be. It's important to try to find ways to get through those and get over things. And through my research, I noticed a pretty cool quote that I'll share with you from a German philosopher, and I'll probably pronounce his name incorrectly, Friedrich Nietzsche, I think his name is. And he said, well, through translation, he said, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." And essentially, those things in life that happen to us, and again, many of you folks could be going through a rough time right now. Maybe there's issues right now in your home. Maybe there's abuse, maybe there's drug use, maybe there's abandonment, homelessness. We just talked about that. And those are all things in life that many of us have to try to find a way to overcome. And the point is that life is not always fair. It's not always kind, and that's a fact. And as you go through life, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be things that won't come easy to you. So the point I'm trying to make here is that those things in life are temporary. They won't last. So keep that in mind, and remember to keep focused on your goals. Remember to always keep moving forward in life. And again, these difficult times that you may be going through, they're temporary, okay? So persevere. That's my final word. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Henderson, for continuing your story for us.
You're quite welcome.